True strength is often misunderstood. People think that holding on tightly to something or someone proves courage, but in reality, it often reveals fear. Fear of losing, fear of being alone, fear of not being enough. A man who constantly chases after what is slipping away only exhausts his soul. He forgets that peace begins when he allows life to flow naturally, without resistance. Letting go is not giving up. It is choosing freedom over attachment. It is realizing that some things are not meant to stay, no matter how hard you try to keep them. There comes a time when you must stop running after things that no longer bring peace. When you chase, you tell life that you don't believe in your own worth. You send a message to yourself that what you desire is greater than who you are. But when you stop chasing, something magical happens. You rediscover your strength. You remember that you were whole long before anyone's approval, attention, or validation. The moment you choose stillness over pursuit, you begin to attract what truly aligns with your energy. Because authenticity never begs, it simply shines. Many people believe that strength is about never letting go, but that belief traps them in endless cycles of pain. The truth is, holding on to what's breaking you does not prove love, it proves fear. It's okay to love deeply, but it's not okay to lose yourself in the process. When you chase people who don't see your value, you forget that self-worth is not earned through others. It's recognized from within. Sometimes, walking away takes far more courage than staying, because walking away means you finally trust that life has something better in store. Letting go is not easy. It hurts, it confuses, and it demands faith. But pain is not your enemy, it's a teacher. It teaches you what truly matters, what deserves your energy, and what does not. Every goodbye is not a loss. Sometimes it's a silent rescue. The heart may resist, but the soul knows when it's time to stop chasing what's not yours. True strength comes when you stop asking, "Why me?" and start saying, "Thank you for the lesson." Every ending is a new beginning waiting quietly for your acceptance. When a man stops chasing, he becomes calm, confident, and composed. His energy changes. His presence becomes magnetic. He doesn't need to beg for attention because his peace speaks louder than words. The world notices a man who walks with quiet certainty. He doesn't rush. He doesn't prove. He doesn't plead. He simply is. That stillness, that unshakable belief in himself, is what makes him powerful. People are drawn to his calm because it reflects something they crave within themselves. Life is too short to run after what was never meant for you. What's truly yours will never ask you to compromise your self-respect. It will not demand that you chase. It will meet you halfway. You don't need to beg for love, validation, or belonging. You were born enough, and you remain enough even when the world walks away. The moment you stop chasing, you begin to heal. Healing is not loud. It happens quietly when you start trusting your own journey more than other people's presence. So, let go with grace, not with anger. Release with peace, not with bitterness. Because what you release with peace will never haunt you again. You don't lose when you walk away from what was not meant for you. You win clarity, you win dignity, you win yourself back. Remember, true strength lies in surrender, not in struggle. It lies in trusting the process, even when you don't understand it. And it lies in believing that by letting go, you are not losing something. You are simply making room for something better to find you. Self-respect is not something a man is born with. It is something he learns through pain, through loss, and through moments when he has to choose between dignity and desire. There comes a time in every man's life when he must decide whether to chase love or protect his peace. begging for attention, pleading for someone to stay, or losing yourself trying to be seen. These are signs of forgotten worth. True respect begins the moment you realize that love that demands you to shrink is not love at all. You cannot make anyone see your value if you have stopped seeing it yourself. A man who honors himself does not need validation to feel complete. His self-respect becomes his silent armor, guiding every choice with calm strength. When you beg for love, you hand over your power. You allow someone else to define your worth. And that is the beginning of emotional slavery. A man loses his essence not when he is rejected, but when he forgets that rejection does not mean he is unworthy. It simply means the universe is protecting him from what doesn't align with his soul. The man who understands this truth never lowers his standards just to be accepted. He walks away not because he is arrogant, but because he respects himself too deeply to stay where he is not valued. That quiet confidence becomes his strength, and that strength becomes his peace. Respect is not earned by shouting, proving, or chasing. It is earned through stillness, through the way you carry yourself when no one is watching. When a man respects himself, he doesn't react to every insult or seek revenge on those who wronged him. Instead, he responds with grace, because he knows his energy is precious, and wasting it on negativity only drains his spirit. True men of worth understand that silence can be more powerful than any argument. Their calm presence speaks louder than 1,000 words, and their dignity commands attention without asking for it. The world today teaches men to measure their value through external achievements, money, or status. But none of these things can fill the void created by self-neglect. A man who has everything yet lacks self-respect is still poor inside, because respect is not about what you own. It's about what you refuse to tolerate. It's about knowing when to walk away from people who treat you like an option. It's about saying, I deserve better, not with pride, but with quiet certainty. When you respect yourself, you stop begging to be loved. Instead, you begin to love yourself enough to let go. Many men confuse ego with self-respect, but they are not the same. Ego shouts, I'm better than you, while self-respect whispers, I'm enough as I am. Ego separates you from others, but self-respect connects you to your truth. A man with ego reacts, a man with respect reflects. The moment you let go of ego and embrace self-respect, your relationships transform. You no longer chase toxic people or situations, because you know peace is more valuable than attention. You begin to attract people who mirror your worth instead of testing it. That is the quiet power of a man who respects himself deeply. Every time you choose self-respect over desperation, you rise above your fears. You stop apologizing for your standards and start living by them. You no longer seek to prove your loyalty to those who doubt you. You no longer explain your worth to those who cannot see it. You learn that walking away is not weakness. It is wisdom. A man who knows his worth doesn't chase approval. He carries it within. And when life tests him with rejection, he smiles because he knows that what is meant for him will never require begging. When you build your life on the foundation of self-respect, you become unshakable. You attract peace, not chaos, purpose, not confusion. You understand that dignity is more important than attention, and self-love is more powerful than any external praise. The man who respects himself doesn't live to impress. He lives to express the truth of who he is. He values kindness, but never allows it to be mistaken for weakness. And in that balance between strength and grace, he finds true freedom, the kind that cannot be taken away, no matter who stays or leaves. There is a rare kind of power that exists in stillness, the kind that doesn't need to shout, prove, or chase to be felt. When a man learns to be still, he begins to see the world differently. The noise around him fades, and the voice within him becomes louder. Society teaches men to run faster, to achieve more, to never stop, but in that constant motion, they forget who they are. The truth is, peace is not found in chasing. It is found in becoming. The more you rush after what you think you need, the further you drift from what your soul truly desires. Stillness allows you to hear your own truth without the echo of others' expectations. Becoming instead of chasing means shifting from desperation to direction. It means understanding that you don't have to run after what's yours. It will find its way to you when you're ready. A man who is at peace with himself attracts everything he needs without force. Opportunities, love, and respect flow naturally toward him because his energy radiates calm confidence. He no longer needs to prove his worth. His presence speaks for him. Chasing is an act of fear. Becoming is an act of faith. When you stop chasing, you stop doubting your timing, your journey, and your value. You realize that life unfolds perfectly when you are aligned with your purpose. Many men confuse movement with progress, but they are not the same. You can run endlessly and still be lost, or you can stand still and finally see the path clearly. Chasing often comes from a place of emptiness, an attempt to fill a void that only self-awareness can heal. But when you become still, you begin to understand that fulfillment doesn't come from people or possessions. It comes from presence. You start valuing depth over speed, patience over pressure, and peace over performance. The man who embraces stillness becomes powerful not because he controls the world, but because he controls himself. Stillness teaches you to trust timing even when it's slow. The world glorifies instant results, but real growth takes patience. You cannot rush what is meant to shape you. When a man learns to wait without losing faith, he becomes unstoppable. He knows that chasing will only lead him to temporary victories, but becoming will give him lasting peace. Every season of waiting refines his character and strengthens his wisdom. He no longer asks, "Why is this taking so long?" Instead, he asks, "What is this moment trying to teach me?" That mindset turns frustration into faith and waiting into preparation. When you stop chasing, you reclaim your energy. You no longer waste your power trying to control outcomes or convince people of your value. You start showing up as your authentic self, and authenticity has a magnetic force. It draws toward you the kind of people, opportunities, and experiences that align with your soul. You realize that what's meant for you will never feel like a battle. It will fit naturally, without resistance or struggle. The man who learns to be still becomes grounded like a tree, unmoved by storms, yet open to the winds of change. His calm becomes his strength, and his patience becomes his power. Becoming instead of chasing also means releasing the illusion of control. Life doesn't always go as planned, and that's okay. Every detour is not a delay. It's a direction towards something better. The man who keeps chasing tries to force outcomes, but the man who becomes trusts the process. He learns to surrender without giving up, to wait without losing hope. He knows that peace is not the absence of motion, but the presence of purpose. When he stops running, he begins to notice beauty in the silence, lessons in the pauses, and blessings in the waiting. In stillness, a man discovers himself. He begins to understand that success is not about what he conquers, but about what he becomes in the process. The world may call him quiet, but his silence holds more power than noise. He no longer seeks recognition, he seeks alignment. He no longer chases love, he becomes love. He no longer runs after validation. He validates himself through self-awareness and growth. And as he stands firm in his truth, he realizes that he never needed to chase anything at all, because everything meant for him was already on its way. Rejection is one of life's greatest teachers, though it rarely feels that way in the beginning. It arrives uninvited, often breaking your heart or shattering your confidence. But beneath that pain lies a message meant to guide you towards something greater. Every closed door is not a punishment. It is protection. When people walk away, when opportunities slip through your fingers, it's easy to believe you've lost something precious. But what if you haven't lost at all? What if life is simply redirecting you to where you were always meant to be? The man who understands this truth stops begging for chances and starts trusting the process instead. Rejection forces you to see your own reflection clearly. It strips away illusions, showing you who truly values you and who only valued your usefulness. When you beg for closure, when you chase after those who walked away, you only reopen wounds that were meant to heal. Sometimes silence is the closure you need. Sometimes their absence is the answer you were searching for. Life is not cruel for taking something away. It's kind enough to remove what no longer serves your purpose. What hurts now often becomes your greatest wisdom later, if you allow yourself to listen instead of resist. When you stop seeing rejection as failure, you begin to grow from it. You start to realize that every disappointment is a redirection toward alignment. That job you didn't get, that person who didn't choose you, that dream that didn't work out, they were never meant to define your worth. They were meant to refine your character. A man's strength is not tested by how he celebrates success, but by how he handles rejection with grace. You can either let rejection break your spirit or build your strength. The choice determines the kind of man you become. There is immense power in learning to walk away without bitterness. Begging for love or validation keeps you trapped in a cycle of emotional dependency. But walking away with peace transforms you. It means you trust that what's meant for you will never pass you by. The man who understands this doesn't chase closure, doesn't fight to be understood. He simply accepts and moves forward. Because peace is far more valuable than attention. Every time you let go with grace, you create space for something better to enter your life. That's how rejection becomes redirection. Through acceptance, not resistance. Rejection also teaches humility. It reminds you that no matter how much you plan, control, or expect, life always has its own design. Sometimes you lose something not because you didn't deserve it, but because it would have limited your growth. Painful endings often hide divine beginnings. When one chapter closes, another quietly begins to form. But you can't see it if you're still clinging to what's gone. The sooner you release what's behind you, the sooner you'll meet what's ahead. A man who embraces rejection as redirection becomes wiser, calmer, and stronger than before. It's easy to let rejection make you bitter, but it's braver to let it make you better. Every heartbreak, every no, every moment of feeling unseen is a lesson in disguise. It teaches resilience, patience, and faith. When people leave, don't chase them, bless them. Thank them for their role in your growth and move on with gratitude. The universe does not take without the intention to replace. It only waits for you to trust its timing. What feels like a loss today will someday make perfect sense. Because behind every rejection lies protection, preparation, and purpose. The man who learns from rejection becomes unstoppable. He no longer fears loss because he knows that nothing truly meant for him can be taken away. He no longer begs for love because he has learned to love himself first. He walks with quiet assurance, understanding that pain is temporary, but growth is permanent. He thanks the doors that closed because they pushed him toward the right ones. And in that understanding, he finds freedom. Freedom from fear, from need, from chasing. Because every rejection that once broke him has now built him into a man who trusts life completely.